So hey, I'm gonna let this turn on for a little bit on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Today was a good day. We're gonna go into it. So let's all right. So today is day 10 of my journey from going from 10 to $20,000 a month to 100,000 a month. And did I keep my promise today? Yes, I did. My promise was 5 live conversations, 3 offers, and do follow up. And I hit all three. Today's funnel numbers is 0 new leads, 5 conversations, 3 offers made, and 1 contract signed. So congrats, we got a contract signed. We have 0 revenue today though. Anyway, let's get into it. So one lesson today. So I had a seller yesterday that wanted to, she had, as soon as she picked up the phone, she was like, "Oh, your team always keeps calling me. Um, I've talked to 2 different people, um, and I was like, you guys keep asking me the same questions." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Well, look, you haven't really talked to me. This is the first time you talked to me, but I promise you that I'm actually someone that's going to get it done. And, I want to do business with you and all that." And so she said, "Okay." And so I asked her some questions. She was kind of hesitant to go into details of stuff about her situation. Later, I found out that the reason why she's selling the property is because her mother, passed away and she inherited the property. So anyway, so yesterday, she was asking a certain price, and I told her that I would do a lower price, obviously. Um, and she said, she kind of negotiated with me a little bit. She was like, I told her, "Hey, I'll do 275." She was like, "Oh, can you do 280?" Right. And I was like, "Well, 280 is not that bad, right? It's only $5,000 higher." So I was like, "Well, look, I can do 280 if you sign today." And so yesterday she was driving, and so she couldn't sign, at that moment. And so, you know, I I was like, "Okay, well, let's set up a call for today, right? And at 2 p.m." And so basically, I was like, you know, I called her and I was like, "Hey, so, are you ready to go over the agreement?" And she was like, "Yeah, etc." I was like, "Great." I was like, "Are you at a place where you can look at it?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm driving, but I can still look at it." I'm like, "Okay, well, can you pull over?" And she said, "Yeah." But what ended up happening is that her husband was driving. And so she was able to look at the agreement as he was driving, right? And so, you know, I think sometimes, the fact that I said, for example, that I wanted her to pull over to sign the agreement. I think a lot of people don't do that stuff. It's like, "Oh, let them sign whenever they sign." But it's like, if I'm on the phone with you, I want you to get it done. I want to get the deal done with you. And so, um, I think I think when she saw it was serious, I was like, you know, "Can you pull over?" She was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I can." And so she started reading it and everything. And so basically that bold move, made it so that she actually went in and signed the agreement. So I got the close, right? So that's pretty awesome. I think that's a good lesson today. And another thing, one system upgrade today. So this week I learned that basically, TikTok, that you can um basically you can tell TikTok that you you have a qualified lead, right? And so a lead comes in, it has certain criteria, right, in your form. So for example, in my form, I have a lead that says, is it listed with a realtor, or is it owned, for more than 3 years? And so if they say no, that it's not listed with a realtor, and that it's they've owned it for 3 years or more, to me that's a qualified lead because they have equity and they're not listed, right? And so I can do something with it. And so what I want to do is train the algorithm to basically know and learn that those are the kind of leads that I want. And so, um, that's what I did today. I was working on it. I was looking at Zapier, and I was working with Zapier so that I can create, the feedback loop to TikTok so that I can tell, TikTok which leads are actually qualified and which are not, so they can give me more qualified leads. And so that was my one system upgrade for today. I haven't finished it, but I worked on it today, so that's pretty good. And the last thing is tomorrow's promise. That's the last segment of today, and that's going to be 80 dials, 6 live conversations, and just do more follow up. Right. So 80 dials, 6 live conversations, and 3 offers. That's going to be my promise for tomorrow. So that's pretty much it. Um, so if you want to, see the climb from $10,000 to $20,000 a month to $100,000 a month wholesaling real estate, just watch from day one or keep watching. Turn on notifications, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. And if you are someone that's an operator that's making more than $50,000 a month more, in wholesaling or another business, and you'd like to talk about what's working for your business, then let me know and just DM me the word podcast. I'm on Instagram at Julian Castle X. And yeah, excited to talk to you. And I hope you guys have a great Sunday. All right. And for all the brokies out there, don't be broke. Okay.